Hey guys, check out this bad boy. This is the CTSmart YH11. This is a very inexpensive knife from GearBest, like $12.99 or $14.99 depending on the color. It claims to be a D2 steel knife with G10 handles, and a $12 knife D2 steel, I highly doubt it. In reality, more likely something like ACR 13 MOV, if you're just being honest. Now, my rudimentary tests, it's definitely performance-wise showing more like ACR 13 MOV. You can see here we have quite a large little knife with a nice, like, what is that, almost a 4-inch cutting edge there. So this is quite a big little guy, but it's also pretty lightweight. Now, the construction here you have is a nicely textured G10 with an upswept knife blade, deep carry pocket clip, kind of thin. You have the blue partial back spacer, liner lock with a flipper, and that Y-shaped pivot pin that is blue. And it looks like it's anodized and not painted, so it should last you a minute. Alright, so we talked about this real quick. So what do I think about this bad boy? Number one, it's a clone or counter, whatever you want to call it. This is a Sinkevitch design. He did this in collaboration with someone else. It's a custom, but you can no longer buy it. You can't find it. It's not even on the secondary market. I think he only made like a couple of these, so is this immoral to copy a knife that you can't buy? You know, it's like, can you really keep a, you know, like a knife forever, you know, if you're not selling it and not let other people, you know? So it's kind of that moral gray area as far as I'm concerned. So you can see here it's a very interesting handle design. It fits fairly well in my hand. The flipper does a good job at holding your hand in place. Pretty comfortable. The G10 is kind of textured and contoured quite nicely. And yeah, the edge, as I mentioned, is a kind of a weird upswept. It's very nice, very handy for EDC kind of tasks. The knife actually lends well to chopping and slicing, makes it kind of good for food prep, opening packages, and that basic household stuff. Plus it has a little bit of that intimidation factor. The liner lock engages very well with the blade. You can see there that's almost a complete and total engagement. It's easy to access because you do have a cutout here, which is kind of cool. And it does, I think, ride on ball bearings. It's actually pretty smooth for what it is. When you look at quality-wise, the blade centering is pretty close. Pretty close. Not perfect, but close enough for me. The pocket clip is nice and strong. It's actually a very strong material, even though it is thin. The pivot, you do need that special tool to adjust it, but if you're clever enough, you can get that with a really small, you know, pair of needleless pliers or whatnot, so no big deal there. Like I said, it's pretty smooth. I'm standing behind a camera, and this thing just rockets out with no flick of the wrist. It hasn't been oiled, hasn't been lubed or cleaned. This thing will probably smooth up nicely with time. The flipper is a little protrusive and a little sharp, but I can live with it. Definitely. It does look like there's some kind of maybe ball bearings. Let me look a little closer here. It's either 2 phosphor bronze or it's a ceramic ball bearing. I can't tell without taking it apart. So, quality-wise, the G10 is nice. It feels good in the hand. It's ergonomic. The pivot and all that are nice and smooth. It deploys nicely. It's priced right. You know, price is pretty good. It actually carries very well in the pocket. It does, you know, it's a little on the big side for a lot of guys, but that's okay. You know, I mean, ergonomics are very nice, obviously, but this is someone else's design, so they didn't have to put a lot of work into that. You can see it has a little bit of a hollow grind there for that primary bevel, and that's kind of that. Now, as far as sharpness out of the box, I have not sharpened this because I wanted to show you. This is probably one of the worst edges I've gotten on a knife in a while. Maybe it's just because I'm spoiled and I've been getting nicer knives, but it is pretty rough. It appears to have a very large burr on it, which is fine. You know, that'll come off very easily, but it's you know, it's definitely going to need work. But for $12, I'm not expecting a knife to be perfect out of the box. Zoom out a hair. Actually, I can't zoom out a hair. I got to go up a hair. All right. Focus. But it actually slices. You can see all that resistance, guys. Yeah, that needs some edge work, definitely. Definitely needs some edge work. And at the end of this video, I'm going to touch this up. And at the very end, I'll kind of show you some slicing with this after it being sharpened. But overall, guys, my opinion, even though the edge is kablooey, I really like this. It's a really great design of a knife. And Sinkevitch always does really good designs. Some of his designs are just terrific. It's a shame these things aren't more available. You know, you can't buy them on the secondary market or anything like that. But as far as I'm concerned, it's very ergonomic. It feels good in the hand. It carries well in the pocket. It deploys well. You know, the steel seems to be a decent steel. You know, it's not D2. It could be D2. It could be really badly heat-treated D2. But it does appear to be, you know, a reasonable steel. Probably, like I said, ACR 13 MOV. And I can deal with that. A $13 ACR MOV knife, I can 100% deal with that and dig this. I think for the price, this is a really nice knife. I'm not getting anything more than just a tiniest little bit of blade play. I've gotten more blade play out of Spyderco's. So, yeah, you know. I've gotten more blade play out of $80 knives. So, you know. But the quality-wise, everything seems to fit nice. It looks nice. Only complaint is that edge out of the box, but that's super, super easy to fix. I'm going to put it on the Lansky, and this thing's going to be really nice when it's done. So I'm going to leave it here at this, guys. This is a really great value, a really nice, interesting, nice-looking knife. You know, and it's a CTSmart. Obviously, they put out really inexpensive knives on GearBest, but you know, I like it. I really like this, and as a beater, I think this is going to be a great little knife, and this could make a really good EDC knife for someone, you know, who's really looking to save some money and just looking for an inexpensive beater they don't care about. But the performance of the edge, you know, that kind of shape on it, you know, it lends to you can cut on a flat table and you can slice. Nice pointy edge for opening packages. It's a really nicely designed blade shape. And I think once I get the edge sorted out, it's going to be fantastic. So, through the miracle of editing, guys, we're going to fast forward through time. Woo! And show you what this does after a sharpening. Alright, let's take a second look at this now that it has been reprofiled and sharpened with a 25-degree Lansky edge. You can see that is mirror. We're pretty close to it. A little dirty, but we're going to kind of show you. This has gone from being a meh to awesome. Whoops. See? Those curve cuts are the test of a true sharp knife. So the steel was surprisingly tougher than I expected. Might not be ACR 13 MOV, to be honest. It really did seriously like take forever to sharpen this. Now we have gone to actually really nice slicer. So yeah, so I'm very happy with the performance of that now that it's been resharpened, and it seems to be holding an edge. I've been cutting up a bunch of cardboard, and I'm not seeing a ton of wear. It's still shaving a little hair even after cutting some cardboard. I did have it hair shaving, so yeah, it definitely can take a nice edge. It's not going to hold it. It's definitely not retention of like good American D2, but I think this is a decent all-around for the money you're paying. That's actually a very nice edge for the money. So very happy with this after the reprofile.